What's going on, guys? I want to share with you one thing that is helping me to get stuff done around the house. And I have learned that normally when I go to do something or I see that like there's so much in the house that needs done, I get overwhelmed and I just shut down. I want to just lay down and not really do anything and just kind of push it under the rug and forget about it and deal with it later. That doesn't really work. And I'm sure you are aware of that as well. So one thing that has helped me a lot that my dad actually suggested is to only focus on what you're doing when you're doing it. And that was something that you think that you are already doing, but are you really doing it? Because I thought I was. I practice meditation and I do these things and I felt like, oh no, I'm present when I'm doing it. And then the more aware I become, I realize that I am actually doing the dishes and worrying about all of the other 18 million things that I have to get done. And that means I am not actually focusing and putting the energy that is required to do the dishes, which really isn't that much when you think about it. It's really not that much, and it's not that hard. But when you go to do the dishes, and then you're like, fuck, I got this I have to do, I have this I have to do. And then you're looking around the house and you're like, I gotta clean the table, I gotta clean the bedroom, I gotta clean this and that and this, and I gotta make jewelry and I gotta do this, and I gotta make sure I'm there on time and make this phone call and do this and this and this and this. Now you're either putting away the stuff on the table, crying, or just totally shutting down because you are fully overwhelmed and you are using every ounce of energy to hold yourself back and bring yourself into an emotional state where you're gonna feel tired and frustrated and overwhelmed. And I have struggled with keeping things clean my entire life. I've struggled with depression and anxiety and having undiagnosed conditions and just like ADHD and all of this, not as an excuse, but just as an understanding of the human brain and how some brains process information differently than others. For some people, it may seem super easy to do easy tasks like keeping your bedroom clean or keeping your car clean or keeping the dishes clean, and it's not even like an issue for them because it's just a part of their structure and how they are as a human, and it's something that doesn't create resistance and doesn't create frustration. For me, like, when I was little, I hated and despised putting away my clothes. So I would put all this energy into thinking about how much I hate putting away clothes, which to this day I still struggle with doing laundry. And because it's like all of this clothes at once, and then you got to do something with it. And breaking down the tasks and really just turning things into a meditation, turning things into a mindfulness practice where you can start to observe your reactions and your responses and your mental state. So something that helped me a lot with dishes, now I have a dishwasher, which is amazing. I still don't mind washing dishes sometimes though too, but I started practicing Ho'oponopono when I was doing the dishes and just saying, thank you, I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me. And it became my mantra that when I was doing the dishes, I would practice giving gratitude for the meals and just being present, as doing the dishes is a cleansing process. So I was kind of like cleansing out the frustration in my mind, keeping me from wanting to do the dishes, and it helped a lot. And then it became to a point where I actually enjoyed it and shut off those like those reactions that my mind would have, like, because when you're in that resistance, when you think of resistance, it's heavy. What is resistance? It's heavy. It's keeping you back. It's weighed down. And that's literally what negativity and these emotional constructs and ways of thinking bring into your life. You're creating resistance through the repetition of the negative thinking. And when you're not aware of it, you have no idea what you're doing. And you just realize, like, hey, my house is a mess. I feel like shit all the time. I can't get anything done and I can't focus. What is it that you're thinking throughout the day? And like I said earlier, like, I thought I was being present with stuff. But in reality, the more my awareness is strengthening through daily practice, the more I'm realizing that, oh, no, I was not present in what I was doing all the time. I was shutting down mentally and emotionally, and totally just beginning to get overwhelmed and not want to do it. And this put me in a really dark hole for a while. The last so many months, 4 months or so, have been really challenging for me. And I faced a lot of resistance and a lot of wanting to give up, a lot of wanting to quit my jewelry, a lot of wanting to just say, fuck it, this is too much work, I can't do this. I don't know how I'm going to parent my kids. I don't know how I'm going to handle the emotions that they are coming out and experiencing when I don't even know how to process and handle my own. And a lot of that came down to me not properly taking care of myself and me overloading myself with so many things, signing up for all these different courses, thinking that this one thing, if I just do this one thing, I'm gonna be healed. I'm gonna be better. I'm gonna feel good. I'm gonna love myself, and I'm just gonna be okay with expressing myself. And what would happen? One, I wouldn't even start some of them. And two, as soon as I did start some of them, it would instantly like wake me up a little bit and shut me down. Like when I started the Qigong training, that was a earth shaker. We'll say that. I don't know how else to identify that one. That definitely put me in a place of awareness, and because I've been dissociated from my body for a very long time and not really present and feeling, and especially present and going slow. Like Qigong is all about going slow and being present, breathing and listening. And I stopped because one, I was overwhelmed. Two, I took on way too much at once. And on top of that, trying to take care of the house and my kids and my business and everything just became so much that I knew that if I didn't step back, I was going to have a mental breakdown, like legit. And that's what has happened in the last couple weeks, is I really recognize, hey, get down. Meow. Meow. Really recognized where my path was taking me if I didn't begin to make changes and begin to shift the direction that I was going. I also had been off of the Renova supplement, which I was big on sharing about before, and then something happened with that, and I ended up stopping taking it, and I'm back on it now. And I honestly don't think I realized how much it was actually helping me, because my diet has been so crappy that I'm not getting any of the nutrition and nutrients that my brain needs. So that, on top of the depression and the dark night of the soul and all the things that were happening, like the fears and everything that I've been going through and overcoming and working through, was just a combination of like rock bottom. Like I really felt like I was getting to the point where I didn't feel like I could keep going anymore. And nobody really knows this, because I don't share as openly as I was at the time, because I didn't know, and now that I'm coming out of it, I know that I'm not alone. I know that a lot of people are going through this. A lot of my issue with sharing is triggered to an experience I had when I was younger, about a year before I got pregnant with Shiloh. And it was when I was with my therapist, and well, he was a pill pusher, psychiatrist, whatever they're called, and he wanted me to get my brain checked, and he did not tell me where he was sending, like what was going on. He gave me no warning, and what was actually happening was he was trying to get me like literally locked up in a psych ward to be pumped on a bunch of medication. And thankfully my parents were there, and we definitely did not do it, because there was no indication or any warning of anything that was happening. He kind of just undercut me, and since then I've had a big fear of sharing a lot of what I'm going through and what I'm feeling, because I'm scared that something would happen, like I've got my kids and I've got a lot, and it held me back in a lot of ways. And now that I'm coming out of it and I'm really working through my emotions and really working through everything and healing, I am feeling more comfortable and open to sharing. And this at the time was when I was on so much medication. He had me on so much medication that I was afraid to go out of my house. Like, I was afraid of sinkholes, and I felt like if I went outside my house, I would fall in a sinkhole. And this was medicated. So the fact that they wanted to put me in a psychiatric hospital, I'm not saying anything against that. I'm just saying that was not my path at that point in time. He was definitely trying to not be a helpful person. And I've just had a lot of bad experiences with that and with people in general. But now I know that it's important that I do talk more and I do share more. And there are a lot of tools and things I've learned over the last 4 or 5 years and my whole entire life that are helping me to really break out of a lifelong depression and anxiety, and to really let myself be seen and heard, and to release my fear of being seen and my fear of being heard, and to accept myself exactly as I am, and to know that my voice does matter, and that there are other people out there that are wanting to listen and that are wanting to grow and learn and heal and work on themselves, and that it matters, that you matter, that we all are a part of this. And the more that we open up and become vulnerable about the things that we're going through, the easier it is for everybody to feel safe and to feel supported and like they're not alone. And I see it happening now. It's like there's so many people that are sharing and opening up, and it's so cool to see how these shifts that are happening are like really tangibly able to be seen through the consciousness shifting in people. And it's really, really cool. I'm really glad that I can be a part of the movement and just sharing the messages that are inspiring, because the world is also very broken and lost, and It's all happening as it's supposed to be, though. And recognizing that we are all here to help in this shift, and nobody's above anybody else, nobody's below anybody else. We are all learning and growing and healing. And I went way off topic, but I am learning more than anything to just flow. I'm gonna start pushing myself to share more and talk more and just flow, to not care, to listen to my intuition. That's what I'm doing now. It's like my house was a disaster zone. Like, I haven't even really had enough time at home through traveling and everything going on. And then I went through a really dark depression and I didn't get nothing done. And now it's like I'm finally getting my place clean, and I still have a lot to go through and a lot of work to do. But I am just grateful to be trusting my inner guidance and spirit to lead me in each step, literally in each step. Like, not telling myself like I should be in my bedroom making jewelry right now and doing this, giving all these expectations for myself, weighing myself down so much that I can't even breathe, which literally was happening. I could not even breathe. And I was thinking it was from the resin, which I don't even think it's from the resin. I think it was just from so much stress and pressure that I was putting on myself that it was causing my whole body to shut down. And now I'm like physically shutting down. So now I'm pushing myself to get active and start moving and start really being present and allowing myself to be in my body. I'm going to cut off here. I hope that some of this maybe is inspiring to you, to help you keep going, keep moving, keep pushing, keep growing. And each day, each breath matters, and you matter, and you just gotta work on shifting your mindset and seeing things in a different way to help you live as a human, imperfect and free. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you have a blessed day. Peace.